There, that should fix that, I hope. Everything else looks good. Sound should be there now. Let me know. I hope. Lisa Poole says no sound, but we're a minute past that, so hopefully the sound is there now. Let me know. Let me know. Come on, somebody. Somebody. Talk to me, Goose. There we go. Sherry Jacobs, thank you. We're there now. Will Vincent, Daniel Wade White, Will Vincent, Lisa Poole on the podium. We'll start this again, I guess, since we had no sound anywhere. Bobby Leister, Judge Posey. Will Vincent telling me I had no volume, but it's there now. Randy Langston, Paul Ebner, Kendra Douglas, Jordan Glass, Buddy Stavanoa. Good morning to you. Sherry Jacobs, Greg Garcia, Michelle Wilson-Hawkins, BJ Nelson, Justin Glass, Wendy Hughes Garcia, Mark Myers. BJ says loud and clear. Appreciate the feedback, everybody. Patrick Strauss out with the wildlife. I'm not sure if that means he's out hunting or he's just hanging out with Lori. Kendra Douglas, Andrew Alvarez. Good to see you, sir. Junior Sample says they're drinking beer at the Hofbrau House. Scott Tomko. I'm going to guess it's probably 1 or 2 in the afternoon in Germany right now. Junior, let me know. I'm going to guess, I'm thinking 6 hours difference. Maybe 7, maybe 8. So it might even be a little bit later in the afternoon. But I'm going to guess at least 7's my guess. We'll see if he concurs. I'm not going to look it up. Producer boy Cody probably could. Scott Tomko, Heather Craft Stewart. I want to welcome everybody who's checking in this morning. 7? To what? It's 2 p.m. So it's 7 hours. Yeah. I wasn't sure. At first I went 6, then I thought maybe 8, but I think I pegged it at least 7. So yeah, good. 2:00 in the afternoon. So perfect time for a beer there. So awesome. Want to thank everybody who's joining us today on Facebook, Magic 95.9, Magic app, Roku. We are also now live and streaming on YouTube once again. It's only been a few years since we've been on YouTube, but our YouTube channel is working and it's live and up and running as well. So that's kind of cool. It's been a while. And I can apparently get comments from Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, all the subscribers that we used to have there, apparently a lot of them are still there. So come on by, come on back and talk to Teddy Bear. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hay Feed and Ranch Services. Today is Friday. Great day to stop in, get all your deer corn. Maybe you need a new feeder. They've got those at Deerland. And they're open all day today. Stop by, see. It does work. I just got a message from myself asking if it works, and it does. So, 43 degrees, heading to a high today of 80. Clear skies, maybe a slight wind out of the north, but no real chance of rain today. And looks like as we peek into the weekend, similar high temps, but the overnight lows get a little warmer. So that means the humidity will probably return. 82, the high expected for tomorrow. And 86, the high expected on Sunday. And We've got a special guest joining this morning. Trent Barter is in.
Tammy says I'm into Miss O Jimmy, but I don't even know Jimmy. Go Texas.
Glad you're here, sir. Welcome to the show. Ricky King checking in. Joel Gomez, good morning to you, Joe. Matt Boucher. Norm Burgess. Hi, Uncle Norm. Heather Stewart checking in. Scott Tomko. I'm glad you're all here. And ready to get going on this Friday morning. The brother man will be with us later. Last night, I don't know if anybody panicked, but Apple was very, very panicky. I had been getting notifications to update my Apple software for a few days. I usually don't jump right into them because they have a bunch of bugs that they usually fix by the time they get to version 8.1.1.3578 or whatever. If you go to like 8.111, you're just going to end up with the bugs that they haven't quite fixed. And then you're going to be mad at your phone because it's going to be slow and all that stuff. So, but I mean, to the point that all the major news outlets were releasing it.
My wife updated her phone and has been testing it ever since.
I updated last night and I've had no issues with it. So that's one good thing. But Apple apparently said, hey, we've got to get this out there. You need to install it because there are some critical security updates that address vulnerabilities, which means that hackers have an opportunity to get into your iOS, Mac OS, and Safari and all that stuff and could do some unexplicit and
the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they are. So much for Apple being one of those unhackable products, right? Because isn't that what they always say? Oh, nobody can ever hack us. We never get hacked. That's all Microsoft and Bill Gates. We never get hacked.
I mean,
And
that's pretty close.
It's
I
pretty
mean, the stuff I look at and I haven't been hacked yet.
right. It was. I mean, that's basically what they say. But yeah, apparently patches had to fix two significant vulnerabilities in WebKit and their JavaScript core. I don't know what any of that means. Commander Cody could probably let us know exactly what that means. He says, don't worry about it. You don't need to know. All you need to know is you probably need to download the security update so you don't have to deal with it. They didn't identify any sort of cyber threats associated with this, but or anybody who might have exploited the vulnerabilities. But they just figured
China.
safe to get it out there. Well, probably. I mean, heck, they make the phones over there. They probably reverse engineered them and done everything they can to get at everything. But Apple said, if hackers are able to execute arbitrary code through maliciously crafted web content, this could put sensitive user data at risk, potentially leading to unauthorized access, stolen credentials, or even device control.
No.
I mean, my stuff's all over the dark web. I got that notification last spring that I've got like 10 different dark web.
Cody, do you know how to get to the dark web? Do not teach me. Oof.
Yeah, I don't want to know either.
He's been there.
Randy Langston talking, I'm not sure what he's talking. China just cracked RSA with quantum computers the other day. What's RSA? Producer boy Cody, you don't know? I don't know. What is RSA? Randy, put that in everyday language for us. We don't speak in acronyms and jargon over here. It's a public key crypto system? Thanks, producer boy Cody. You went to Google. I could have done that, I guess. That's why you're here, though. Wendy Hughes Garcia says, I'll stick with my South Korean Samsung, thanks. Yeah, but you know what? The vulnerabilities are still the same. It doesn't matter. Tom Price checking in. Tammy Williams says, go Cowboys. Edna, not Dallas.
Hey, your Edna Cowboys are 11-0, and they look to
You
win.
can move that down right there.
Okay.
There you go.
I was hiding.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
11-0. So does this mean they can win the district tonight?
Well, they've already won the district.
Are they in playoffs now?
They won the first round of playoffs. Problem with it is, they played the Sisters of the Blind in the first round because we let 4 in nowadays. And so it's 68-0.
So
by
this
district
is
champs, they won their second
against the School for the Deaf and Blind.
right. In another blowout. And so this week, hopefully they'll be playing a 1 or 2. They'll be playing a 1 or 2. And
when did they move to 4 teams in the playoffs? When I quit covering high school football, they let 3 teams in.
When I was in high school, it was 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
That's what I remember. And there was an outcry or an outcry because every once in a while you had the 10-0 team that was obviously getting in. Then you had the 9-1 team that was second. And then you had an 8-2 team that was
really good.
That was really good and weren't getting into the playoffs. Right. And I know what happened. Well, this district, their team's 6-4 and they get in and we're 8-2 and we beat them and we can't go.
They went.
So
they
then
went
they
to
added
4,
3.
and then they did
right?
the math and realized how many more football games and how much more money that was. But now the problem is let's say your boy's a senior and he's on one of those 4th place teams. Okay, so they end their district play with a win, they get into the playoffs, and then first round of the playoffs they have to go play a team that's going to beat them 70-0.
Yeah,
and you just hope that nobody gets hurt. But they're not competitive football games.
Yeah, but you're making memories, right?
And money.
Well, yeah, and money. Well, except for the districts, it costs them money. But whoever's hosting it probably makes some money. But I mean, let's be honest. These kids will probably remember getting to the playoffs. They may not really remember. It may have been so traumatic they will block the 78-0 loss.
Yeah. They'll go around. Yeah, we were a good team. We made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get that.
Carla Bennett, good morning. Checking in from the YYC where it's a little nipply up there. 9 degrees this morning in Calgary, heading to a high all the way. It's going to go all the way up to 15. That's Fahrenheit, folks.
Fahrenheit. Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not speaking Canadian for you. I could real quick if you wanted me to. It's currently minus 12 Celsius, going to get up to minus 9 Celsius. So there you go. And they got a great chance of snow.
So it won't even be in the positive numbers today?
No.
Maybe they ought to look at a different numbering system.
You know what, though? It is a little bit easier because it's relative to 0. Right? I don't know. Metric's easier to do the math, that's for sure. Fun fact, Rob Bargenbrook says the UIL kept the broadcast rights on the Edna game. Daniel Rowland says Brent looks a lot younger this morning. This is Krent Barter. Yeah. We don't want any confusion.
Daniel likes the way I look.
Yeah. Johnny Houghton says it's warmer in Winnipeg than it is in Calgary. Rob says UIL kept the broadcast rights on the Edna game.
I bet they did.
My understanding. We used to have to ask UIL for the rights for all postseason games back in the day. So, hey, if they're not keeping the rights until the 3rd round of the playoffs, that's some progress when it comes to the UIL because they used to want to control everything. I got in trouble one time trying to put the game on Facebook and do a Facebook Live post while I was doing the radio. Well, you can't do that. That's broadcasting the game. Now they're broadcasting. So Rob says that it was denied. So you guys asked for the rights and they denied it. That's interesting.
Rob, you calling any more industrial games this year?
I'm guessing whoever has the state rights to the playoffs through the UIL wanted to cover that Edna game tonight. Where is that Edna game? Do we know? I'm going to guess it's in a larger metropolitan area. Probably San Antonio would be my guess.
So they're playing in San Marcos at Rattler Stadium. Oh, no, that's where they played last game. And they did. We were right. They won 48-0.
Yeah, they're probably heading that way. Rob will know. Money. Yeah, but it is. But I mean, it's the way it's always been.
Well, okay, let me take a step back and give Edna some credit because in their last 4 games, all 4 were shutouts. They won 49-0, 48-0, 63-0, and 48-0.
Oh, they played last night. Oh, I didn't realize that. That was last night's game they won.
They beat their last 4 opponents by over 200-0.
Good for them.
So, go Cowboys.
So
AJ Louderback's been putting on a helmet.
Tell you what, if he just shows up on the sidelines, they'll never lose, right?
Well, I mean,
he's the District 30 version of Chuck Norris.
that's a fact.
So there you go. Well, congrats to the Edna Cowboys for beating Texas School for the Deaf, Blind, and Mute last night, 48-0. I'm just kidding. We've gone from the Texas School for the Blind to Texas School for the Deaf and Blind, and now we're getting deeper in the playoffs, so it's a Deaf, Blind, and Mute now.
And next comes the Sisters of the Blind. They're not as strong, but they can see.
That's a convent team. That's a team from the convent. Tammy Williams says no points from the other team since October 25th. No, we're joking, but that's a.
Hey,
I don't care. You get into the playoffs. And I know there's 4 teams, but still. There's also more high schools playing football than there were 20 years ago. Which means, you could go down the talents diluted and all that stuff. Junior, I really don't want it. We don't want to know about your schnitzel. But in all seriousness, you put up 3 tastings like Edna just did in the playoffs, and you shut out 3 straight opponents in the playoffs. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
Oh,
you put up 3 straight shutouts in any level of high-level sports, high school football, college, pro, except for maybe soccer where you only score 1 or 2 goals a game. That's a heck of an accomplishment. And hats off to the Edna Cowboys for doing that, because that's really, really good. And I know we joked and we jested, but that's impressive.
6 games. They pitched 6 shutouts this year. 6 out of 11 of their games
Wow.
have been shutouts. And they scored double digits.
You got to talk right into that microphone.
And they scored double digits on all of them.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really good. Sounds like I should have taken up that offer to go watch them play some point this year.
Well,
Stephanie Connie,
it's
not too late.
We might get to go see them play in Dallas.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Might be the only team that wins in Dallas. Yeah, Johnny Houghton says at least one Cowboys team in Texas is impressive. The Dallas Cowboys are impressive. It's just in the other way. 180 degrees from the Edna Cowboys impressive is the Dallas Cowboys level of impressiveness. Because nobody saw this coming with the Dallas Cowboys. And that sports update brought to you by the great folks at First State Bank of Louise.
Nobody saw them losing this year?
I didn't see them losing this badly.
I called it. As soon as they signed that big check with Dak, you can't pay your quarterback that much money and win in today's NFL.
Dak hasn't been the problem. Dak hasn't had any protection.
No, it's not that Dak's the problem. How
No.
much we're paying Dak is the problem. The model has already been laid out there. All we have to do is follow the same structure as the Patriots, and you can't give your quarterback all the money.
Well, but you also had quarterback that restructured his contract to allow other players to get paid more.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to be that kind of leader if you want to win.
No, But here's the other issue, though. And they gave a lot of money to CeeDee Lamb, too. And all CeeDee Lamb has done is cry and complain that he doesn't get the ball enough.
Well, he's too little.
But the Cowboys could have had some leverage with Dak Prescott. I think they were out of franchise tags, right? They'd already franchised him twice. They can't do it again or whatever the rule is now. At one point, you could franchise a guy once, and that was it. Then now you can franchise him a couple of times. And anyway, they keep moving those rules to help the owners. But what they failed to do all summer and all off season was actually sign anybody that provided some depth. Because everybody's blaming Dak, and Will Vincent is right. This is part of the problem. The offensive line is the problem. They can't run the ball. They let Pollard go thinking Rico Dowdle was going to be the guy, and Rico didn't run too badly last year, but they had a better offensive line. But when you lose 2 starters and one decides to go to the Jets because he thinks he has a better chance to win a Super Bowl with the New York Jets than the Dallas Cowboys, who were 11-5 last year, 12-4, whatever they were. And the Jets are just a clown show now. They fired their GM. They're benching Aaron Rodgers. I mean, We laughed about that at the problem. And we're
Jerry Jones
is
the
the problem.
Wendy Hughes Garcia said it best.
Because he thinks he's a GM, and he's not. But it's glaringly obvious. And I'm gonna put the least amount of blame on Dak Prescott. I don't fault the guy for signing as big a contract as he can. I would do it. You would do it. If you say you wouldn't, you're a liar.
Well, how do we get Elon to buy him?
I don't know. Maybe the Department of Cowboys Inefficiencies, is that what we need?
Yes.
We
definitely need.
Yeah, we definitely need that
in Texas.
Yeah, but we'll get to that in a bit. But the Cowboys can't tackle. I mean, most defensive backs can't tackle anymore, but the Cowboys are terrible. They can't cover anybody. I didn't think losing Landon Van Der Esch was going to be that big a deal. But when he played, he actually provided a bit of a defensive. I mean, the guy was hurt all the time. But at least when he wasn't hurt, the Cowboys had somebody on the defensive side of the football that could tackle. Other teams have figured out if we can just triple team Micah Parsons if we have to, the Cowboys don't have anybody else that can get to the quarterback.
It'd be nice if we could figure out where to get some money to spend on some more players.
Oh. So, but I mean, they could have probably leveraged Dak a little bit had they actually signed some other players to shore up the depth and said, you know what, Dak, this is all we have left for you. We love you. We're giving you the tools to take this team to the Super Bowl.
So that you can be a wealthy man
so that you can be
your life.
Exactly. You'll be able to sit there and do the chunky soup commercials. You'll be able to say, we're going to Disneyland. You'll get all the money that Patrick Mahomes is getting. And again, Patrick Mahomes, I think, deferred some of his money or took less, restructured a contract, didn't take as much because he's making it up on this end. I mean, he's even got Andy Reid sounding stupid with some of his wording and phrasing in that one State Farm commercial.
You think Andy Reid's better than Bill Belichick? Getting that way, ain't it?
It's starting to look that way. I think the fact that Andy Reid has done it with, I mean, don't get me wrong, Bill, yeah, he's being a good coach, but he's managed to get there. Didn't win a Super Bowl with Philly, did he? I think he was gone before then. Did he win one?
I think you're right. I think they let him go, and then they won one the year or two after.
Yeah. So Kathleen Leininger says all they need to do is bring in Pam Bondi to run the offense. Let's take our first break, and then we'll get to some other stuff. But that high school Dallas Cowboys update brought to you by the great folks at First State Bank of Louise. We appreciate them. The First State Bank is the friendliest little bank anywhere. Go by and see them at the corner of Stockbauer and Salem. This morning, they can handle all your banking needs. When you're looking for a bank, nobody better than a community bank that understands where you live and what your banking needs are. And First State Bank nails that to a T. Went Services for all your electrical needs. Contact Went. They're awesome folks. I've dealt with them in the past. They are reasonable when it comes to cost. They are more than reasonable when it comes to telling you, based on their expertise, why we understand you want to do that, but maybe you should do this. I listened to them, worked out way better for me. So I appreciate that. They'll give you their expert knowledge and opinions to help make your project even better than you've ever dreamed. RK Development, Daniel Rollins checking in this morning. If you've got metal building construction needs or any sort of construction needs, RK Development can handle you. Look up the RK Development Group and give Daniel a call, veteran-owned business, and 35 combined years of construction experience at your back. behind them and helping you make your project a reality. The VCS companies, they power the Wade and Carter Show. Awesome folks. Go see Kelly, give JR a call, Miss Jennifer, or stop by the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer right there on Kerr Boulevard. And they can take care of all your communication needs. They can even help you if you don't know how to install that new software update on your iPhone. They can take that with you. They can help you do that as well. They never say no to anybody who has a question. That's awesome. Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com. If you need a brand new Chevrolet, brand new Mitsubishi, brand new Mazda for you Canadians, Carla that's listening, Brian, Johnny Houghton. Those are the new cars that they sell, but they'll sell any make and model of a gently pre-owned vehicle that they can get their hands on. They keep the best and get rid of the rest, and then they sell them to you. And if the flags are flying, people are buying at Atzenhofer today, so stop on by. And White Trash Services for all your trash collection needs in Victoria County and the gazillion contiguous counties that they are now involved and operating in. White Trash Services. Have a trash-tastic day at White Trash. So I think Brent was on the spot when he didn't think that Matt Gaetz was going to get to, I didn't think he'd get through Senate confirmation, but I think Brent said he didn't even think Matt was going to even get to that point and that he was going to step aside. Well, what are we, 10 days after being announced as the Attorney General pick by Donald Trump? He steps aside a day after the House committee said that they weren't going to release the ethics findings against him on a split vote.
I'm just glad Hillary hasn't killed him.
It's not, Cody says it's not too late. It might happen. True story.
I mean, because he'll poke into stuff that they don't want him poking into.
Yeah, well, and I thought maybe not now.
And then he'll go right up in front of a microphone somewhere and tell the world about it. We need more like him.
And that's the thing. I mean, he is good at that, but like I've said before, I don't believe he's a very good legislator. It's maybe in the last year or so since I last did the analysis, and I talked about this the other day, but when I started looking to see what Matt Gaetz really stood for legislatively in DC, it was renaming buildings in his district, federal buildings, post offices. He never stuck his neck out on the line and was the initial or the second co-sponsor of a bill that I could find when I did this. And I looked through his whole thing, and this was a while back. And that's all he ever seemed to lead the charge on.
Do you think that's because whoever sponsored the bill didn't want his name on it?
Well, I didn't think of it that way, but then again, if he can't get somebody to jump on a bill with him, that tells you something about his ability in
how
DC.
Worried everyone is about their reputation,
or his ideas are
trash.
One or the other. Yeah.
Possibly
both. But I mean, that's where I struggle with Matt Gaetz. But again, I kind of flip-flopped when all of a sudden the left went I became absolutely unhinged when Matt Gaetz was the AG appointee, because they knew they were coming for him. Now we have Bondi, Pam Bondi. She was Florida's Attorney General. I don't know much about her other than that she probably did most of the heavy lifting, if not all the heavy lifting, for all of Ron DeSantis' stuff. And if that's the case, let's go. Let's go. In either case, though, Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump said, you know what? This is somebody who's going to get back to law and order and stop the weaponization of the DOJ. And the left automatically takes that message and says, oh, that must mean he's coming after the left. He's going to come after his enemies. I don't think and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I didn't read the right, but I didn't see that in any of the statements that I saw that he made. It's not what he said.
It's going to be the biggest example of turning the other. He's going to get in, and he's not going to do all of these awful things that they tried to do to him. And I think they're just going to try to right the ship and just get back to right as much as possible.
Yeah, no. But think about it. And again, voters have short memories. Mitt Romney had allegations of womanizing against him. And I don't like Mitt. But the left has been doing this since Barack Obama and maybe even, well, probably not before, because then the Kennedys were still fresh in most people's minds, and you couldn't accuse somebody of being a womanizer when the Kennedys were still in office. Because all you had to do was go, hey, look, there's Teddy.
Wait, so we talking about JFK in Maryland? You leave them two alone. It's a love story.
Uh-oh, now I'm worried. Peter McNally says Bondi's a big upgrade. If the left likes her, then maybe we need to get rid of her.
Well, I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know Pam Bondi.
I don't either. I don't know much about her other than she was Florida's AG. Kathleen Leininger says, hate that Matt got borked. Sick and tired of the leftist bullies that push every. You know what though?
Wait. Idiot males are supposed to be wearing dresses?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, if you get right down to it, did Matt Gaetz not become a victim of exactly what he did to Kevin McCarthy? Because I don't know that Speaker Johnson has been an upgrade through the last couple years in Congress over what Kevin McCarthy wasn't getting done. Because Speaker Johnson hasn't really gotten anything done as Speaker. We've had control of the House. Republicans have had control of the House. Conservatives, when I say we, because I identify more as a conservative, mostly as a conservative as opposed to a Republican on all issues. I tend to even lean a little more libertarian on a lot of issues.
So you and Brent even on the air the other day said, I'm more of a libertarian, and
he's coming around. It's only taken me 8 years to get him there.
Freedom. Who doesn't love it?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Both sides could enjoy it if we let everyone and stop trying to take rights away from both sides.
There you go. I like this. I like where this is going. Keep it up, Trent Barter.
Oh.
But
well, let me just give a shout out real quick to, I see T-Lats on. I see, good morning, mama. And my oldest daughter, hello. Won't crack, peel, sticker fade.
Hey, that was better than I did. It took me almost a year to get that.
Oh, Brent does a good job.
Yeah.
I started to draw on the black goatee this morning. And
But
then I went to
realized
Facebook and pulled him up. And I was like, crap, it's white.
You don't have enough gray. There's Daniel Bird checking in. David Glass says she was involved in all of the Florida recounts between Bush and Gore. Okay. But where I was going with this was the Republicans had a real opportunity to get stuff passed in the House that even if, and here was it, well, we knew.
Unbelievable. Tammy, you knock it off, Tammy. You stop with these trolling comments. Oh. He got fired. Tammy, you knock it off. Don't make me scold you on the air.
But and the excuse was, well, we knew if we put this forward, the president was just going to veto it anyway. That's the point. Let him veto it. Let him show Americans what he thinks of your ideas. You don't think if Joe Biden would have exposed himself by vetoing bills that a Republican House had passed or the Senate wouldn't take up?
When you said Joe Biden, if he exposed himself, all I could think about was him in the exact same position of Mike Tyson after the fight. Oh, Joe Biden walking around in a medical gown, butt hanging out. That's the only thing he could expose, Ash.
His old man pockmarked flat rear end. David Glasses, you're forgetting we didn't have the Senate. We didn't have the Senate. But I'm saying they could have at least got him to the Senate. The House could have been passing these things, and then they could have at least at that point too, because the compromises, there might have been a bill or two that would have been compromised enough, and the president would have vetoed it. But then they could have said, look, Democrats don't want to push forward the common sense legislation that we're trying to get done. They could have exposed the rhinos Kathleen Leininger talks about. Oh, and Bob Casey yesterday finally conceded the race in Pennsylvania. This is a 3-term Democrat who lost his Senate race in Pennsylvania. That's huge.
That probably didn't feel great.
Probably not. No. He probably thought he was going to be there forever.
And
I mean, what's that? 18 years of of being senator in Pennsylvania?
Right. And now everything's controlled by Republicans, so he's not even going to get to be a lobbyist.
Well, I think under Trump last time, he couldn't be a lobbyist for 5 years, right? He had to wait 5 years.
Right.
Yeah. So he might wait. He's got his Senate pension. Yeah. I'm sure.
He's not going to be in the poorhouse.
No, not at all. He's probably made a whole bunch of money since getting to Congress. So let's see what Pam Bondi does. We'll find out, I guess.
You guys, hey, be small. He actually has notes. It appears as though they have a plan of what they talk about. Just a little insider info for you. Be small.
Yeah, there is usually a plan. And if I don't have time to write it down, I usually have it up here already on the.
Oh, no offense, Cody. That was a shot at them, not you, dog.
Cody helps us out, keeps us on track. Let's see what else. So, break time. Okay, let's take the break and let's get into Pete Hegseth stuff, because it seems the Democrats are pulling out their old tricks of all women must be believed now, and all of these years old allegations are coming out against everybody that Donald Trump is. It seems they're going to come against for everybody. You watch. Chesnick Furniture Company, right here in downtown, beautiful downtown Victoria. Stop on by Chesnick, get your furniture. Bobby Leon and the gang, they will set you up. You buy today, they'll have it in your house by dinner time tonight. I was perusing their website. They've got some pieces of 65% off. So best recliners, best sofas, best love seats. That's the brand. I'm not just describing them. They're American made. Pretty cool stuff. They've got, you no longer have to put that plastic on your sofas like grandma used to have to do to protect them, because the coverings on them are stain resistant, child resistant, tear resistant. You can take them off your cushions and wash them, and they look brand new. Leather's a lot more durable than it ever used to be. Your mom would get a leather sofa and put it in the living room, and nobody could sit on it.
At Chesnick, the leather won't crack, peel, stick, or fade. Crack, steel.
There you go. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends, December 12th. We will be there. That's our next Wade and Carter night. Come join us. We'll have a lot of fun. We always do, and usually a Wade and Carter listener wins, so even better. USA Concrete Coatings on your concrete that won't
crack, peel. It's not stick.
It is.
It will stick. It should stick.
Yeah, but it doesn't stick to your tires.
Oh, it doesn't crack. Okay. Oh,
that's what we mean.
To your tires. Okay.
Like those roll-on applications that you buy at the big box stores.
I try to say it fast, but stick always gets me. A stick on stick too. Because I want it to stick.
Want it to stick. It will stick to the floor.
Hey, Ash, don't forget to call GSM Insurers, the finest management around, the best management, the people, amazing. The insurance, it's insurance. It's what you need, and we got what you need.
Yeah. There you go.
And by we, I mean Crent Barter. MSG insurers.
If we're going to keep the role playing going, yeah.
It's just,
Bar Vita Wellness, they're open right now. You can get in there and get all your frozen meals for the weekend. Awesome folks over there. David Glass says, wouldn't be surprised if Gates is appointed to replace Marco Rubio. Bobby Brennan chiming in says, I live in Florida and Bondi is a great choice and not afraid of a fight. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you, Bobby Thompson Brennan, for that. B Small says Soul Glow resistant. I don't believe the USA concrete coatings is Soul Glow resistant. I think it actually works with Soul Glow.
losers, yes.
I don't think that's tough. Jared says Dem seem proud to be such gracious lovers, and I think he meant to say losers. Well, they don't stop crying or threatening to leave the U.S. amid a peaceful transfer of power while encouraging a huge escalation of war in Ukraine. Trying to make as big a mess as possible. No, that's exactly what we talked a little bit about yesterday. Joe Biden is trying to ramp things up in Europe and make a mess of it.
Wait, we're still pretending Joe Biden's in control?
Well, he's the one out there saying, go ahead, use our missiles, and now we're going to send you landmines.
Right, but that's the people sending him money, telling him to say that so they can get the weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy at this point.
Yeah, but they're still living the charade, so I'll play along.
Right, yeah.
That he's actually calling the shots.
Like in what other field, right? Let's just say you're a district manager of any business in any industry, right? And if you're hired in a way where you're promoted and you get to do a left seat, right seat with the manager that's going to replace you, you're not doing stuff like that. You're not sending long range bombs into Russia or doing anything to complicate. You're trying to just simplify and fall into business as normal, not starting World War III.
Well, Randy Langston, they should be a war crime. As I pointed out yesterday, this country has done everything it can since the whole Balkan crisis and the Serbs and Croatians going at each other. Oh, yeah, thank you. Right? And the war in the former Yugoslavia, to not use landmines. We decry them when they're used in Africa, but here we are. Now we're going to send them and give them to the Ukrainians to use against the Russians. Absolutely. But you bring up a good point, Adam, and Adam Sugar is the role of Crent Barter now being played by Adam Sugar. It's like a soap opera.
You outed me. I thought I had him convinced.
Well, I'm pretty sure they did, but
you saw the Texas hat.
Nobody will remember that.
And
the hoodie
pullover with a collar and the big cup, and they're like, "God, that must be Brent.
You're not chewing your ice. That's the only thing you're not doing.
There ain't no ice in this. I'm on coffee.
No iced coffee.
I don't know how is that what he's got? In the cup?
iced tea.
I was always,
and he doesn't even sweeten it much. He like one packet of sweetener into this big cup of tea that he would have. That's not quite sweet enough for me. But you hit the nail on the head with what you said. Instead of trying to, and they're all about a peaceful transition. They're talking about the actual transition of power when Joe Biden is seen shuffling out with his walker. He's going to have one of those seat walkers with the wheels so he can put his banker boxes on it as he leaves the White House because he won't be able to carry them. And Donald Trump goes walking into the White House. That's seen. That's the peaceful transition of power that they're talking about. But you hit the nail on the head. They are doing everything they can to disrupt the next administration in as many ways as possible to get there.
Right. Hey, and all the while, the White House continues to put out these hilarious posts on Facebook where they brag about accomplishments, and everybody, you go to the comments, it's hilarious. They're delusional.
They are delusional. Jared says Joe Biden said in a speech that he read war is good for business and factories. So if they're worried it's going to end, they have to ramp up to use as much as possible revenue.
whatever it takes.
Yeah. That means he's got stock in McDonnell Douglas.
That
chip
was
companies.
That's his justification of the landmines. Well, if we blow up more cars, then the car dealers are going to sell more cars. It's good. See,
you're using them in an area that's already been blown to smithereens anyway. Now you're just leaving them
to create more.
Well, maybe this is his favor to the UN, because the UN will then send in minesweepers 10 years down the road once enough kids get blown up playing soccer in a field where Ukrainians put mines down and then forgot about them. Then all of a sudden we'll have a humanitarian crisis in that part of Ukraine. And I'm not joking here, because this is how this works. Look back at history. The mines that were planted get forgot about. And then some innocent kids who are playing in that field step on one, get blown to smithereens, and then the UN has to come in and justify their existence with minesweepers.
Well, we don't use minesweepers. So, like, there's several different rapid ways of removing them. They have dozer blades that go on the front of tanks. They go on tracked vehicles. You can even put them on Humvees. And what it does is it sifts right underneath the sand, and it picks them up and turns them. And the implements that go on the front of the vehicles are literally built to take the blast from the mines. So it's clearing landmines is not near the task that it once was
when you actually sent people out there with
with
rakes and shovels.
We had to learn that too. They'd make you lay on your belly and go inch by inch using a knife down at a 45 degree. Anyhow, that was not fun training.
I can't imagine it would be.
So, NCOs always made sure that you crawled a little further than what you may have needed to, and that you did it at least 100 times.
Daniel Bird says you used to use rats.
Morning, Brother Gary.
Yeah, come on by, brother. Don't worry about anything. Don't have to duck. Don't have to duck. You don't have to duck. We got you covered. Brother Gary coming here. We'll get to Brother Man in just a minute. Brian Small asks if anyone knows what a smithereen is, and that would be a great name for a band. Yeah, it would have been a great name for a band in the 80s and 90s. But too bad we missed that.
I'm one of his.
Decade.
I'm one of his, Ash.
I know you are.
That's why
you became a history teacher at one point. He's the reason. John Miller, good morning. Daniel Bird says war is good for the economy. They all have stock in the companies, and they could really care less about service members. Civilians are the less than 1% peoples. Absolutely. No, you hit the nail on the head. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to, the U.S. condemned the International Criminal Court for the arrest warrants issued by the ICC earlier this week for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and their former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant.
Does the ICC have any sort of police force?
I don't know if they can call up Interpol. Interpol's more just a network of information as opposed to actually police officers, right? So yeah, I don't think they actually have anybody. They rely on their member countries or countries that recognize their courts.
Okay.
To arrest folks
so
and
they're
get
not
them
to be able to enforce that.
Not that I'm aware of. No. Yeah, they rely on countries recognizing its jurisdiction to enforce its warrants. There you go. I just looked that up. There you go. Right there. There's the answer. Thank you for asking the question. An authority that is not recognized by either the U.S. or China. And they've also issued warrants for Vlad Putin and Sudan's president as well.
Oh, you're not going to talk about Lucy?
Do I need to?
I don't know why it's the oldest fossil that we have of bipeds, 3.2 million years ago.
It's really 3.2 million years old. Do we know that? I mean, these are the same groups of scientists.
Clue anymore? Ash. they all the carbon dating, all the stuff. It's been too. I don't think they know anymore.
No, that's exactly it.
They've been too wrong about too many things.
Yeah.
Hard to say, but it is old and it is interesting.
50 years since Lucy was discovered in Ethiopia, and then the 40% complete fossil currently housed at the National Museum of Ethiopia, where I'm sure lots of people are seeing it.
Yeah.
Such a tourist mecca. You know what's interesting? Mongolia has become a tourist mecca. United, Delta, American, all going to start flying flights into Mongolia.
Their barbecue is amazing.
Mongolian gorilla. I'm guessing if you go there and ask for that, you're not getting it.
Well, you might not want what you get.
Yeah, you might not want it, but apparently it's one of the they've seen tourism grow by like 35% year over year, and so now it's become quite the place to go apparently. So I don't know, might have to check it out. It's never been on my list of places to travel to, but apparently it's becoming.
I was actually talking
more and more
to my wife about the Mongolian Empire yesterday.
Were you?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So I was trying to explain to her why Czechs are the Germans with high cheekbones.
You say that, I just think of Paulina Porizakova back in the day. But I guess
You got it.
Airlines. I got it. Airlines are not going to go. Airlines are not going to go into a place where they can't make money.
Like Victoria.
Yeah. They need, well, they need a subsidy for that. I doubt the Mongolian government is going to subsidize United, Delta, American, and others that are already in Europe flying there. And that's kind of what got United on board is all of a sudden all these European carriers and Asian carriers are flying people into Mongolia, and they're like, okay, we need a piece of that. I prefer thin spaghetti over regular spaghetti when I'm eating spaghetti. I don't know why. It cooks quicker. You don't have to wait for dinner quite as long, even though you've waited all day for a good spaghetti sauce to get where it needs to be anyway, or gravy, as some of those Northeasterners call it. But scientists have now created the world's thinnest spaghetti. See, this is the kind of stuff you don't get anywhere else, and I probably wouldn't have pulled this out if Trent Barter wasn't here.
400 nanometers. I mean, I like mine at least 500 nanometers.
Well, that's the extra thin spaghetti. Right. What do you call this one? Nano thin spaghetti?
Cheaper than vermicelli.
Is there anything cheaper than vermicelli? I don't think so. They used a technique that has been used in medical and electronic applications to create, I'm guessing, fiber optic cables and things like that, and probably
You could make a rug out of it.
Probably could. Don't get it wet though. You got to sop that up, or that rug will become al dente in a hurry.
Oh, I don't. Rob, are we getting in a gunfight, Rob? What are we quick drawing?
Be small asked, where was Ricky found? If they found Lucy, where was Ricky?
Where is Tammy?
I don't know.
Friday.
Maybe she went away maybe she's off visiting family for Thanksgiving already.
My morning would have been better.
Well, maybe you scared her off.
I just wanted to play. So
Jarrett, my cousin, says his dad and my twin brother, look like they came from Mongolia. That would our grandpa Nick would also probably, because your dad and his dad spit an image. Anyway, should we? We shall. Let's bring the brother man in to the rousing round of applause as always.
Thank you, guys. Boy, you got a good one here, Ash. You got my boy. Adam, good to see you, son.
Morning, brother.
God bless you. Yeah, good morning, son.
There we
Thank
go.
you for bailing him out this morning. He was missing Brent. You came in and saved him right there, right?
I figured I'd come dress up like Brent.
Yeah, you sure
just
did.
to make him feel more comfortable with his homie by his side.
You know, Ash, if you ever got in trouble, this is the boy you want backing you up right here. I mean that, Adam. If I ever get in trouble, son, don't ask questions. Just jump in. Just jump in, son.
If you ever get in trouble,
I ain't
asking no questions. Whoever's coming after Brother Gary, they're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no
Thank you.
questions needed to be asked.
Thank you.
The investigation will take place after the butt whooping of whoever's coming after Brother Gary.
Thank you. I want you to know I see your mother all the time at the Helplex. She's wonderful. She loves talking to me. I love talking to her. And Ash, I want to give you a plug too. You got a good family, son. You got enough kids, you'll never get free. You got 5 of them right there. But I'll tell you right now, she loves them. She said, "But y'all got loads. You and Cody both."
Brother Gary, the king of the backhanded compliment, right there.
Right there.
Hey, well, we stay busy. If it wasn't for them, I
You'd
mean,
still
they
be busy.
keep me out of trouble. So,
Well, and that's-
I've got a 13-year-old now and a 1-year-old. So hopefully I'll stay out of trouble for
Oh, you're being no
years to
trouble,
come.
son.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, Ash, yesterday, your bunch from the baseball team helped us out big time. Billy T. Catan, Hope Recovery Luncheon. The boys really enjoyed it. John Lucas was great.
Was it good? Good.
He was first round or top pick 1986 NBA draft from Maryland. He was excellent. He was coach of Spurs, played for the Spurs and Rockets. He was also a world-class tennis player also, John Lucas. This was former Rocket Spur, and had a message. You know what the message was? Billy
Yeah,
T.
because he's
Catan.
been an addict. He turned his life around.
He turned his life around, and that was great. And you would have enjoyed that too, Adam, because you get into stories like that. He was a history teacher because you had somebody, and I thank you for that, son. I appreciate you following and doing such a good job in any field that you are in.
Well, I couldn't do it as long as you did. But,
No, today's times be a little tougher, son. But that was great yesterday. Raised good money. Ash, and again, hats off to your boys and the teams. We had all the basketball teams, East, West, and St. Joe, and baseball team for UHV, and they were great. So I wanted to mention that. Yes, sir. I talked to Coach yesterday, and I got one, Adam and Ash, that I want to mention a special event Saturday, and that's at Patriot Park. Now, the Victoria Vietnam veterans, they will be over there, dedication ceremony. I'll be emceeing at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning out at Patriot Park. They now have that helicopter. It's on display. It's mounted. It's set. Dedication of that helicopter by the Victoria Vietnam veterans will be again at 10 o'clock. Go by Patriot Park, boys, guys, Cody, and all of y'all out there, and you'll see that helicopter in remembrance of the Vietnam War right there. So it's good stuff right there. And I love what our bunch is doing. You know, they want to keep the memories alive. We just had the Vietnam Wall here, replica of it. And it's coming back next year, and we're going to dedicate the big Huey. It's a Huey helicopter out there at Patriot Park. So that's a special event.
I've thrown up in one of them.
I bet you. I don't put anything past you.
Wasn't that the goal? Your first time they put you in one of those was to make you throw up?
It felt like it felt intentional by the pilot.
Yeah.
I want you to know, son, I know you've done about everything, and you ain't afraid. You're tough.
B Small has a serious question for you this morning, brother, man.
sir.
He wants to know if you went with a medium starch this morning.
That is
heavy.
offensive.
It's
That
always
is a heavy starch. What are you talking
Be
about?
small. That's heavy starch, sir. I'm out all day. I won't come in till late tonight, and you have to have a starch search to make it through the day.
And it doesn't even chafe him.
Be
I
small.
know. I'm used to it.
You think Brother Man is going to cheat on his laundry? Come on, dog.
Tell him it's out all day, and I love that. And Ash, we want to give a good send off. Victoria West, they're playing tonight in Beeville against Alice. Send off West back parking lot at 3:00. So we're going to be out there for some of that too. Go West and go in.
Are they in the same district, Beeville and West, or no? They can't be if they're this far along. No.
They never played at Beeville. It's a neutral site. Alice is coming in to play them. And go in.
Oh, they're playing Alice. So
they're playing
okay.
Alice in Beeville.
School for
7
the
o'clock.
school for the kids with 1.5 legs.
Alice? No,
I'm kidding.
I missed
I was just keeping that going. That we were.
the BHS Alice rivalry. That was
a
fun
good one.
back
Yep,
in
I
the
remember
day.
that
And
one.
It was competitive.
Yes. Okay. Alice.
And
Alice
remember
pretty tough.
they had the shimmy shirts.
Yes.
Where in their color was
And you
the
know what
same
their
as
colors
the football,
are?
and they'd always tuck it up under their shirt, and they actually got
What are
in
their
trouble
colors?
for that.
And the colors, University of Texas colors.
Right.
Texas colors.
Go Texas.
And we have to give a plug. They said.
Actually, I
give a plug.
think their colors were a little different. They had to switch to UT colors because their colors were
They
too
had
close
UT
to
colors
football.
before.
Yeah.
Okay. Go Lad. State finals this afternoon in volleyball, 2:00. So they're playing.
Awesome.
Ash,
Good.
The coach in Goliad. Okay, that she is going to be. I don't even know if the area realizes what they have in her.
You got a good team.
but Jess Odom, I mean, how many state champions has she already won?
One in 17, I believe. They won one in 17.
She's won, I think, 3 volleyball state championships.
Yeah, she's good.
And they're back in the
Finals today, 2:00.
But what she's doing with those kids, she's able to repeat it. It's a system. It's a program. It's something.
And the kids are buying in because
they
obviously
buy in and they're playing and they're smiling and what they have going
So
on.
you're aware of that too?
At Goliad
Okay.
Volleyball is probably the best volleyball thing going in the area.
It's good.
And she'll be in the Texas High School Coaches Hall of Fame
Yep.
with her record. She is amazing.
I love it. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, brother.
Y'all take care,
Randy
guys.
Langston says what we all don't know is that Gary is actually, brother man is actually a scientist. That is a master in cloning technology, and he cloned himself years ago. There's actually a few dozen of him.
I wish
That's
I
why he
could.
gets to be in so many places at one
Thanks,
time.
Randy.
That's his story. He's sticking to it. Folks, we
Thank
got to
you.
go. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, guys.
And Trent Barter, thanks for being here. Brother man, thanks
Thank
for
you for
stopping
having
by. And I won't see you on Monday, but we'll let you know. Brent will be here, but we really look forward to everything. I wish everybody has a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see y'all later. Bye, folks.
I've been kicked out of my near every bar around.